Yoon, but you're spending so many resources on neutralizing him, but you're forgetting that your strong point, your bot lane, Scarlet Petal, Christ, these two are very powerful laners, and you can try to abuse the relatively strength of the bot lane to get yourself a victory instead.
Yep. So maybe NYP dedicates a bit more resources to getting bot a hit, but I think Scarlet Petal will be just fine absorbing the pressure as well. He's kind of a flexible player that way. You have any thoughts on that, Gerard? I mean, Jervis is your friend.
Yeah, that's right. So I just think he's like a really, really good AD carry. I mean, last year to me, what made NYP not able to clinch the win over TP is the fact that they lacked an actual AD carry player. I mean, now Scarlet Petal, he's an AD carry main. He's a good challenger player. He's been, I believe, top 3 in Singapore at one point. So I believe that he's the key to winning this. So I think that honestly NYP should put more resources into getting Scarlet Petal
Right.
ahead. Like in the last game we saw that he just went like, I believe, like 8 kills, and that was really good.
So maybe both of you on the same page, get Scarlet Petal ahead. And right now in the draft, we see the special Yasuo band out against Yon, the Sejuani as well as the Aatrox. So 2 at Yon and 1 at Krex. Meanwhile, on the other side, Aurelia Karma as well as the Silas. So no Silas this time for Shinsekai. Instead, will be the Gragas locked in instantly for the jungler of Nanyang Polytechnic.
Yeah, I mean, the Gragas worked last round, so I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Right, and immediate Lucian Yumi, alright. No Ezreal this time, I think somewhere off screen, Tufan is cheering.
I mean, if Lucian just relentless pursuits into the enemy team, it
pretty
doesn't
much
work
the same
out.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh, do we have that?
Alright, there we
Just
go.
went all
Oh
in.
yeah.
Yes.
NYP pulling out the Draven Leona. You guys wanted more resources? I think they can create their own leads now in the bot lane.
That's right, Draven and Leona, so strong, so much damage from Draven, the spinning axis. I can't wait to see Scarlet Petal pop off.
Right. How do you counter this? Do you pick something that can basically focus the bot lane, or are you content losing that matchup? Because as far as I know, Draven Lucian is kind of tough for the Lucian player considering his short range. And together with Leona, you kind of have to sit under turret and CS because it's one person in the lane. Remember, Yumi sticks to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately, in this case, if you're just gonna cede the lane to the Draven, Draven himself is a win condition. So that means NYP is timing all onto that. If you don't stop that, that train wreck that's coming in, that Draven is gonna hit you for half your health with every single hit, and that's how I believe NYP is gonna win. TP has to do something about it. They pick up the Rek'Sai, I believe, to try get some early game presence, but I'm not sure if that's enough. They need to get a
Game
roaming mid.
1, Krex played the right side to great effect. I think he was a large reason for how the team got a hit, and this time reprising the champion again. I think his Jarvan had a bit to be desired in the previous game. He wasn't as impactful as I hoped he'd be. Maybe this time on the right side he'll be able to activate more early action. Second bands coming in, it's going to be the Kali against Raven, and the Poppy, meanwhile, the other side, it will be the LeBlanc, and I think right now, if you are NYP, you pinch out the top lane pool, you pinch out the mid lane pool, because you more or less have a winning bot 2v2 with the Draven Leona, right?
That's right.
So there you go, it's going to be the Corki band out. So both both top and mid, it's a flex pick, so you pinch out the pool by banning the Corki out right there.
That's right. Corki, just a very strong champion. You've seen him all over the place now. Corki, Azir, Corki's banned out, and TP opts for the Nico instead.
I like this coming in because Nico, as we said, flex pick, but also can be built several ways. You can do attack speed, press the attack Nico, you can do glacial augment utility Nico, and right now you can send her to mid or top. So they don't show anything just yet with this pick.
That's right. NYP hovering, trying to pick their mid laner. I saw Azir, and amongst other things, I think it'll probably be the Azir, honestly.
I do like the Azir because not just another carry thread that you bring to the table, but Azir has the Emperor's Divide. You're able to peel for the Draven as well. Everything can just hyper-focus Draven, but you still have another carry option with you.
We saw them hovering the Urgot, and I think right now NYP, they might just want to go for a top laner that's safe, that's open pickable. And when I say that, I mean something along the lines of the Nara Cannon, right? Gangplank for Kralix might not be too bad as well. He's very comfortable with the champion, and despite having a poor Game 1 performance, I think the global threat, as we always bring up with Gangplank, means that bot lane now is that much more deadly at level 6.
Yeah, what can Yon bring to the table to counter this though?
Against the Gangplank, the open pick Gangplank is kind of weak to getting bullied out by anyone in range. I think if you have an instant auto attack speed, I think Nico does pretty well actually. Vladimir here might just go to the mid lane and have a Nico on the top side for a beneficial matchup. But this does mean that they'll be packing a lot of AP on the Temasek Polytechnic composition.
We have seen in the past that you have put Lucian as your main physical damage threat. In this kind of team, it works out well because you have a lot of damage coming in as well. But in the past, if you have Lucian as a sole damage dealer, it might be a point of contention because that's not enough late game physical DPS.
So they're going to put Vladimir on top side, and this is questionable to me because Gangplank can then just rush the Executioner's calling. I think overall, though, TP's composition looks like one that wants to tunnel around these team fights, a lot of big ticket ultimates, whereas NYP are comfortable snowballing bot lane or just scaling up with Diazir.
That's right. I mean, in the Girl Gamers tournament earlier, we saw Candleburn on Vladimir just tear through the enemy team. So honestly, I mean, if Q123 can get to that point on that Vladimir, I think NYP is in a lot of trouble.
However, if you look at team compositions alone, NYP has drafted so much disengage for that Draven, for their team. Because Gangplank, Azir, Gragas, they are all very well known to be very strong disengage champions. But outside of TP, you don't have much beyond that Rek'Sai tunnel. So TP doesn't have a very strong engage option. So how are they going to get onto the Draven if this happens?
Ideally, you get a flank teleport flank with the Nico to hit the Pop Blossom when they're retreating. Otherwise, Yumi's final chapter also serves as an engage option. So there are ways for them to get in, right? Yumi's kind of attaches to Rek'Sai and use final chapter. So it's not to say that they're devoid completely of engage options. It's just that it's a bit harder to access. That's it. I think TP also does have fair share of scaling with the Vladimir. We're talking about Candleburn, I think. Overall, Kiwi123 Yon is a pretty decent Vladimir player himself.
That's right, but overall, looking at both teams, I mean, who do you think should be the focus for NYP and who do you think should be the focus for TP in terms of like jungle gangs and stuff?
Right. I think for now, if you're NYP, you straight up just side with the Draven, Leona, and the bot lane. Just try and snowball them as much as you can because Lucian Yumi is basically one body in the lane. It's only one person you have to hit your skill shots on. And if you do a flash shield or daybreak into a Zenith Blade, you lock him in place, you actually get the advantage there, and then Gragas follows up with CC. Very gankable lane. So you can snowball the Draven that way.
I completely agree with Hungry on this because if you look at the other side of the map as well, Gangplank is a very safe pick. You can always just tunnel in, just use your barrels to farm up. You don't actually have to take any fights as Gangplank, and with the remove Scurvy, you are able to another anti-CC tool that you can just get out of any trouble.
Meanwhile for TP, I think Rek'Sai has to cover the Vladimir lane just a little bit. At least, you know, when Vladimir plays a bit more aggressively, shoves up, you want to be there to make sure nothing bad really happens. Otherwise, if you can match the Lucian Yumi, but I think that's really a lost cause because of the damage coming in on the Gragas and bot laners.
There's an interesting point I want to point about Yumi because we don't really see that many great Yumi plays so far throughout the tournament, but it's such a highly contested pick just because the lost chapter, the amount of sustain you bring to the table, but this is one of the cases where it might backfire really badly just because of how much hard engage the bot lane has alone on the side of NYP.
You can see the respect coming from Temasek Polytechnic's bot lane. They went for not only cleanse, but heal exhaust.
That's right.
It's signaling to us that, well, we just want to survive the laning phase and come out even if we can. It's not offensive tools in the pocket of TP right now. It's just surviving the bot lane and hoping to get to the point where they team fight with Nico, Vladimir, and pop off.
That's right. I mean, earlier, Terrence, you mentioned that Yumi players, this tournament not been pretty good. I mean, we've just seen these past two games with both NYP and TP having, like, if I'm not wrong, TP first picked Yumi in the previous round. NYP picked it really early as well. Honestly, like, we've not seen anything good from it at all this series. So maybe we could in this game, but then again, Draven and Leona is just so strong.
There's a certain sort of idea here that I think NYP baited TP into playing Yumi Lucian. It's quite a strong lane, yes, but there are straight up counters to it, right? And one of them being Leona, one of them being Draven. Anyone that basically has a range advantage or can pressure you out damage-wise is a counter. So strategically, I think NYP were quick on the draw. They knew what the opponents wanted to play, and they knew they had a counter pick in mind. Similar to the previous game. You guys want to play Renekton? I have something in my pocket. I can counter pick that. So NYP seems like they're one step ahead. And I think if they do sort of play out this bot lane properly, it's going to guarantee them the win for sure.
That's right, definitely looking to play out that bot lane. Draven and Leona going to be the focus. Surely Scarlet Petal can carry the rest of NYP on his back. Maybe even Raven with that Shurima shuffling in the mid lane. But we are on Summoner's Rift for the final game. Campus Legends Finals. NYP versus TP. 1-1 each, both teams. The next, whoever takes this game... Ooh,
back to us.
Yeah, back to us. Yeah, but whoever takes this game is basically going to win the entire tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of the line for both teams just because of the history. Consider the idea of where both of them came from. I think NYP have a lot to prove here, knowing that their lineup is a star-studded one. If they lose this, it's egg on their face, right? And so TP previous year champions. If they lose this, it's also a sort of an embarrassing moment for
That's
them.
right. This is
Both
really
teams
just
have a lot to prove.
Yeah, this is really just a rematch from last year. Last year, NYP went up against TP. And yeah, I mean, now it's NYP's chance to push back to get that revenge that they're looking for.
Oh
And,
man.
well, Lucian is disconnected, but we are on Summoner's Rift.
Oh, it
regardless.
doesn't look like he really did disconnect though,
Oh, yeah,
because he's back in the
Yeah.
game. So iNitrogen now is just gonna be walking over to the blue buff. The interesting thing about having Yuumi on your team though means you can't do that sort of 5-man defensive spread. The moment she gets caught out, it's a bit dangerous. So they kind of have to stick a bit closer together.
You always have that Lucian, the dash, to at least provide some gap closers to at least make sure Yuumi doesn't get caught out too far from his team.
Yeah, very defensive starts. No one's exactly going to ward anything. Just see a lot of pings from the side of NYP.
So far, neither team has actually moved up as well, because if you think about the previous few games, they really like putting out that vision as well. Putting in the vision, throwing it at the Raptor camps, tracking their opponent junglers. This is something they really like doing in the previous game, but everything on the line, everything is on the line here. If you get
That's
caught
right.
out by the Leona, by the Gragas, this could be an instant game over from the very get-go. So both teams just taking it safe, waiting for the right moment.
That's right. Both junglers start out on their camps. We move into the bottom lane. Scarlet Petal on that Draven. I'm really, really, really excited to see how this can pop off with that Leona Christ as well. As you mentioned earlier, Yuumi and Lucian, just one body in the lane. So if Lucian gets caught out, Scarlet Petal can just hammer on with those axes.
Yeah, but look at the pathing coming in from the jungler of TP. Craig started topside, wants to hit onto the bot lane to cover this, and the moment Draven Leona gets a bit too antsy and moves forward, I think Craig is there to seize the opportunity. Meanwhile, excuse me,
Yeah.
Shinsekai is going to hit the topside. Every time I see Gragas, I'm like, Ice Destiny, you know?
Ooh. Still stuck on yesterday, I guess.
Vladimir getting shoved up here because of the power lane shots coming in, and he's going to get zoned away from the wave.
The level 2 power spike, not power spike, but level 2 advantage coming in from both the bot and the top lanes are giving them a lot of space to breathe with, even though it's not really a great matchup or you have a lot of pressure coming in so far.
Look at the keystones in the mid lanes. Lethal Tempo versus the Glacial Augment. And if you remember Omo on the desk earlier today said that, well, you go for Lethal Tempo if you know you can stand still and deal the damage, you know, stand and deliver, right? With this composition, it's going to be the Azir as well as the Draven that's going to be standing and delivering.
That's right, and speaking of delivering, Raven is really just zoning out epistemology in the mid lane. 18 CS to 12, really showcasing us like how large Azir's range is in that lane and how she can push out the Nico. Scarlet Petal gonna be farming up as well. CS in the bot lane more even, and Scarlet Petal actually taking some poke in the early game.
iNitrogen is playing the range game very well. You see this, they just staying out of range at all times. They don't want to get too frisky with that Leona and just keeping their distance.
Meanwhile, bot lane, you can see both junglers meeting each other in the river. Teleport being used very early by Raven to go back into lane. Picked up the dagger as well as the Dark Seal. Craig's a bit low on health right now in the jungle during his clear. Doesn't have the smite to heal up, so I don't think he can make a journey down to bot lane anytime soon.
On the other hand, Shinsekai has a full health bar. He has those Predator boots, so he'll definitely be looking for a gank somewhere.
One interesting thing to point out is that all three lanes of NYP is pushing out. This is a situation you never want to be on the other side actually, because this means you release so much
Ooh.
jungle pressure and
Whoa, Krillix
Violet?
for a lot of damage. Q123 trying to trade that back up. Both top laners have a fair amount of sustain.
And remember, they picked the Vladimir into this matchup, and he's getting punished quite heavily now in the early game. Like I said, I would have preferred the Nico on the top side and the Vladimir in the mid. But of course, the Vladimir versus Azir is kind of a tough matchup as well. Overall, maybe not the best pick coming in here for Temasek Polytechnic.
Yeah, I'd like to question the Vladimir's choice of buying a Doran's ring. What's up with that?
So the idea is that you get health and AP, which both feed into your passive with the Doran's ring. The downside is that you don't get the additional healing from a Doran shield or a Dark Seal and refillable potion.
That's right, because usually I would see more traditional Vladimirs going for that Dark Seal refillable potion for like maximum sustain, just farm up and keep using your Q on the wave.
I mean, if you get double health potion, it actually heals more, I think, if the math checks out.
It does show though, because that Doran's ring is keeping him in lane. He's getting a lot more pressure because there's a bit more damage coming out, there's a bit more health coming out. So Gangplank can't just... in a typical Gangplank versus Vladimir matchup, you just see Gangplank parlaying Vladimir and running away as soon as the transfusion is down. And you don't have much wave clear, so if you're forced to use your Tides of Blood...
Wave is going to be pushing. Christ is looking for something here.
Oh,
Here comes
something's
Shinsekai.
going on, Shinsekai. Nitrogen gonna be able to relentless pursue his way out of that one. Not gonna have any repeats of the previous game.
You can see the positioning there, so dangerous. The wave shoving in means that Christ can just sit on the side, prepare the engage. Had he flashed though, I think it would have been a very dead Lucian and Yuumi, but instead playing that trade out a bit more safer and more conservatively.
Raven just zoning epistemology so much, he's basically hugging his turret at this point. CS differences really big in the mid lane.
There's a now Magic Mantle picked out on Krelix just to secure his lane for even more. But the problem is Kiwi123 has not backed yet for any items, so the pressure is coming in from Krelix at the top side.
That is for sure a tough matchup up to the point where he gets enough CDR cooldown reduction to heal up consistently. And the itemization is so tricky for Kiwi123 as well, because you tend to try and move towards the Proto Belt into the Spellbinder, but against Kralix, right? You have to be careful because he's doing physical damage. So you can't fully itemize AP, you have to go a bit of armor as well.
One option you can do is the Seeker's Arm Guard, which is a very strong option against a lot of assassins, and in this case Gangplank, who just keeps piling your face, or the Ninja Tabi, which just actually reduce the damage from parry.
That's right, Predator boots are up again for Shinsekai. He might try to find something.
I'm surprised that Krux didn't walk down because this wave is pushing. He could have been in a position to counter gank it if Christ got a bit too handsy. Pings down, you can see the contesting vision around this Raptor camp, which is so important. They need knowledge of Shinsekai.
Yeah, Krex is that level 6 above Shinsekai, still on that level 5. So he does have the advantage for a while. Meanwhile, Kiwi123 buying that Codex and the Kindle Gem, he's looking towards that Proto Belt that you're mentioning.
It's not just that, it's also that both items give HP and AP. So he gets stacked, he gets a bonus stats on stats, right? And the cooldown reduction also helps him use the transfusion more often, means he gets to sustain up in lane.
Yeah, but Krex is here at the bot lane, and so is Shinsekai, but Shinsekai doesn't have his ultimate yet, but still, Flash Boy Step, and first blood for Scarlet Petal. Now Yuumi is left alone.
Oh, man.
Explosive business, but that doesn't even matter because the cat is so vulnerable. Scarlet Petal cashes in on that Draven, 2 kills for him.
Like we were expecting, you know, Krex was there to counter gank, but the positioning was a bit weird because Shinsekai was there in time as well, so with the whirling death was able to pick up the first blood. Man, 2-0-1, this Draven is starting to ramp up.
That's right, just cashing in that adoration, the gank really helping him to get ahead. When he recalls, honestly, it's gonna be so scary.
That could be a first item, Bloodthirster. You can go for a very early crit based build with that IE into the Zeal. We have to say.
Oh, hold on. We're looking at the mid lane Pop Blossom being used to clear the wave out, I believe, from Epistemology. He doesn't want to stick around. Remember, this is a Glacial Augment, so doesn't necessarily have the stats to push the wave out by himself. Instead, will be forced to use the ultimate.
The ultimate's on a really short cooldown compared to most other champions, so it's actually very usable. You can just spam it, well, not spam it, but it's a tool that you can afford to lose because of how fast it comes back up.
Yeah, it's almost halfway up already, like you mentioned, so it's a pretty accessible tool that Epistemology has. Meanwhile, Krex was seen in the top side, I think. Oh, no, there was a control ward there, so he wasn't spotted out just yet.
He's not exactly able to find anything on the Kralix, so he's just gonna back away. Meanwhile, Scarlet Petal, he has that Bloodthirster. It's gonna be really scary.
That's so much damage, so much sustain coming out, and you have to think about this. In the early game, every bit of health counts just to prevent that one kill from possibly snowballing, and that Bloodthirster gives both damage and that amount of sustain that you need to stay alive.
Okay, bot side of the map, Shinsekai is setting up for this dive here, and because of the Bloodthirster picked up, there's a good amount of sustain for them to come through with this. They might be looking for the play.
Going in for it. Solar Flare will tag Nitrogen, who just gets absolutely deleted. That was so quick. Scarlet Petal on a killing spree. Cracks and Epistemology, they're here too little too late. But Raven
Oh,
going
nice.
into Shurima Shuffle. And Cracks now solo, trying to jump on Raven. He will stay alive, be able to get through his tunnels, but Epistemology is forced to flash away as well after using the Pop Blossom defensively. NYP on fire. They're going to probably take the first turret.
And we called this in the pregame, you know, NYP was going to focus the bot lane, make sure Draven Leona got a hit with the accessible crowd control that they have. Shinsekai set the play up so well right there, forcing a lot of summoner spells in from the opponents as well. You can see the teleport and flash. Excuse me, just a flash was used by Epistemology.
And if I'm not wrong there, Scarlet Petal got all the gold from the first turret. Saw 600 over his head, so he's going to be so rich. BF Sword on that Draven.
That is a 3-0-2 Draven, ladies and gentlemen, with an extra BF Sword, like you said. Should be going for Storm Razor next, I think. It's multiple options available, but I think Infinity or Storm Razor would be good to force the power spike. Meanwhile,
Raven going in for the fight on Epistemology. He's going to try to push as much damage as he can. He's not going to be able to get anything, but still a sizable chunk.
and the good news for NYP, right, if you're looking at, you know, taking stock of the situation, Draven a hit in the early game means that your Azir will be in a better position to scale because now you're the one dictating the pace. Buy so much space for Azir to get to the point where, okay, maybe you don't transition so well as Draven. You wait for the late game, Azir will come online.
However, now we see both Scarlet Petal and Christ moving up to the top side, and everyone in NYP is just positioning up to get that top turret. They want to make the high tempo plays and see if they can get this turret before the turret platings actually go down.
The response coming in from Iron Nitrogen as well on the top side, so ADC and bot laners, ADC and supports rather, shifting to the top side of the map. Moves being made by the jungler in mid lane of NYP. You can see they're focusing their attention down on the Rift Herald. So this is a win-win situation. Either they siege top tier 1 or they claim the Rift Herald.
It looks like NYP will be claiming the Rift Herald. The bot lane of TP, Iron Nitrogen, and Yuumi, they're quite far behind in terms of gold. Look at that. Scarlet Petal has nearly double the amount of gold as Iron Nitrogen.
This is what happens when your Draven gets fed.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about it. It's either you prevent it or you try to counter it. But in this case, they were unable to prevent it. They have to play towards a mid-game, see if they can make any catches, any strong team fights with the 5-man outs.
Yep, speaking of catchers, Shinsekai's hanging around.
They do have
Use
the wave
Predator
here.
Boots. Yeah, use the Predator Boots already.
The wave was cleared out by Iron Nitrogen, so there was no attempt at the dive, but the second wave moving in might see a repeat attempt coming in. Krex is going to
there
see
as
him.
well. Krex is just going to take so much damage from this AP Gragas. Might just get solo kill. Uses that, jumping in
Oh,
to
man.
face with Scarlet Petal. Says, hey, here's a free kill for you.
Backing off now. Remember, the Iron Nitrogen is still here, but I don't think he wants to stay around. There are multiple ultimates that were used, and meanwhile, they're going to pop the Rift Herald on the top side. Should be in time to get all the turret platings and possibly the structure as well.
Definitely the structure as well. They have a minion wave coming up. Scarlet Petal just getting even more and more gold. Got that kill on Krex, and now yet another turret with all the platings.
You can
Oh,
even
man.
go for another charge. That's just so much.
That's ultra value right there. Meanwhile, bot lane, Kiwi is doing his best to deal with Kralix, but it's tough. Sure, he has the wave clear, but Kralix adding global pressure with his ultimate right there. You saw how impactful it was.
Whoa, Shinsekai
Really?
hanging around.
Oh,
Oh, no,
man.
Nitrogen! Oh, he stays alive, manages to flash away from the solar flare, uses the cleanse as well. Whirling Death will not be able to pick up that kill.
That was a missed time of, rather mislayering of crowd control coming in. You can see if the Solar Flare was a second, or not Solar Flare, the Zenith Blade was a second earlier, it might have been enough.
So both summoner spells being popped by Iron Nitrogen once again. Really forced on the back foot, forced to play so defensively, forced to buy that Ninja Tabby as well, just to fight the Draven.
Now next objective is gonna be the Ocean, or excuse me, Ocean Cloud Dragon.
Meanwhile, on the side of TP, they're just trying to match what NYP can do, but you can't throw member for member when their Draven is just gonna dominate so hard. So what TP needs to do is find those opportunities to get get the number advantage, get the flank, as we said earlier in the pre-game, because this is a really very dire situation coming in.
Maybe the flank might be the option available, but I think at this point it's not enough damage coming in. It's insufficient, right? It has to be a 5v5 double flank with Kiwi 123 as well. Maybe you hit the Hemo Plague and Pop Blossom, you might win that.
They need to get Scarlet Petal because look at his items. IE and Bloodthirster gonna be pumping out so much damage just off that Draven.
Dude even skipped the Storm Razor, went for the late game scaling IE.
Exactly.
Alright. Look at the gold difference. Jeez,
Yep.
it's 4.3k between
Really
the
just
80K.
double the amount of gold.
Pretty much, right? He has double his gold. Oh, this is disgusting.
Cloud Dragon gonna be secured by NYP off screen. Meanwhile, Karlix is gonna be finding himself in a 1v2 situation. Pop Blossom, 1v2 I say, but here comes Yuumi and Lucian as well, and the Prowling Projectile will actually claim that kill.
Good pick there, a bit of a fortunate situation that Kralix overextended, but it's to be expected, right? When you move forward, you open up the map for everyone else. Because there were multiple members on the top side, they get a lot of chip
Whoa,
damage. And
Shinsekai! A little bit angsty with that one. Explosive cast not exactly hitting. Solar Flare will land on the Yuumi.
Wow.
And oh my goodness, so much damage just being put out. Scarlet Petal already picking up 2 kills. Is he going to be able to find any more epistemology? The name is such a tongue twister. Is running for his life.
what a great Emperor's Divide there, but Shinsekai has to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage from the turret. Meanwhile, here comes the flank from Kiwi 1, 2, 3. He's
Yep,
looking for the Hemo Plague. He
He's
lands
not able to
it.
find anything. Raven is probably going to stay alive from this one, but Scarlet Petal taking so much damage. Raven so low. Oh, the Titan Blood barely missed on that one. Q123 able to find the shutdown on Scarlet Petal.
It was a good flanking angle coming in, but he didn't have anyone else to supplement the damage. So there was a unfortunate instance. I think TP managing to get the shutdown goal on the Draven is still pretty decent though.
This does buy them a lot of reprieve, and they just need to keep doing this somehow. They need to find all those opportunities, wait for those flashes to come up so he can land the insane ultimates to kill that Draven.
Yeah,
All you need
let's
to
take a look
do
at the replay right here. So the Solar Flare only catches the back line, but this Empress Divide,
Whoa.
jeez, catches both Krex as well as Christ. And then with the Sun this being put up after, they try to look for more, but there's really nothing much to be found here as Kiwi123 leaps in. Remember, he does use the flash first, doesn't get the phase rush until he pops the E, and right now it's not enough movement speed to chase down.
Still though, I don't think that's going to happen again because Draven now has a Hex Drinker. Scarlet Petal, in the moment he died, he's
Sure.
like, that's not happening anymore. I'm just going to buy the Hex Drinker.
Actually, more of Malmortius isn't a bad buy here because the lifeline actually soaks majority of the AP burst, the magic damage coming in.
That's right, it gives him even more lifesteal as well. Still double the gold of iNitrogen.
That's not changing anytime soon.
That's unfortunate, but for now, the Lucian is kind of out of picture. He needs to farm up, he needs to get back into the game by getting maybe some crucial kills. So, but for now, he just needs to be content, doing his best for his team, just getting a little bit of poke with that ultimate. There doesn't seem to be much he can do other than that for now.
Look at Shinsekai though, just confidently walking straight up into 2 people. Maybe
Oh,
a
man.
little too confident. Explosive cast on himself.
I think it was a reflexive explosive cast. He didn't expect the amount of damage coming in, and good job by Epistemology to find the pick there. 2-0 into the mid lane for TP, holding strong still. There is some wiggle room here for Temasek Polytechnic. They're not out of this one just yet because majority of the goal, remember, is on the Draven. If you isolate the Draven, you still win the fights.
That's right.
Unfortunately, you still have, on side of NYP, you can't give this kind of leads to your opponent. It's a small advantage, but losing your jungler can open up the map. Thankfully, neither Baron or Dragon are up for contention just as of right now. So that only led to a single kill, 300 gold. But you can't keep giving this to your opponents. You're just giving them a lot of space to work with, and they can have 5v40
This goes back to the idea of, Chufan talking about NYP sometimes being a bit overconfident,
that's
careless even. That was a Shinsekai moment where he walked up into Fog of War, got picked off, and that cannot happen anymore because you lose the dragon, you lose the jungle, you probably lose the Baron in the next coming minutes.
That's right.
This composition, although it's not super adept at taking the objective, it's pretty good at turning off it.
I think that Shinsekai forgot that he was in game 3 of this final. He forgot the stakes here. Remember, this is the last game. Whoever takes this basically wins the entire tournament. So I guess he forgot about that for a while.
Sometimes it's good to play like you're not in a do or die situation because that alleviates a lot of the pressure, right?
It's true.
Death Rush being set up here by NYP, but they're gonna walk in, clear the wards out. Krex, meanwhile, will spot them with the Tremor Sense, so he has to back off, has to play a bit more carefully. Look at the bottom side. The wave's being shoved in by Kiwi123, but he doesn't have teleport, so he has to walk up. He has to be careful about the Baron power play coming in. Meanwhile, Kralix with the teleport on his side, as well as the Cannon Barrage, doesn't mind just staying in the bot lane as long as he wants to.
Raven stepping really far forward. And Baron is up, and it looks like NYP wants to begin taking it.
Yeah, they know they have the TP advantage right now, so they can just sneak this one away if it's just 3 of them, but it's gonna take a lot. Kreis here moving forward, trying to zone them away. Baron's dropping in 6,000. It's going down very slowly though.
Yeah,
Remember,
right.
the magic number is going to be 4k.
Yeah.
Kreis here has already spotted this one out.
That's right, and Krex is a higher level than Shinsekai, so he can actually go in and try to steal it.
Oh,
he gets knocked
so
away.
good.
Oh, there we go. Actually, a missmite, but Raven secures it, and Krex goes in a little too late. They trade 1 for 1, but NYP secure the Baron.
The coordination there was perfect. You could see the CC being chained up. NYP get the Baron. They're one step closer to closing the series out.
They even managed to get cracks in the process, even though it's a, even though Leona sacrificed the life for to just delay as much as possible. But cracks went in for the steal. Dying for this means that it opens up another opportunity. I can't really fault him for trying to steal, but unfortunately,
You don't fault him at all, man. That's the only thing
That's-
he has to do.
yeah.
He has to make the steal.
Yeah. And honestly, he could have, because Shinsekai did not hit the smite.
But the juggling of CC was almost
That's right.
perfect there
Fantastic.
coming
That
in
was
from
really good.
NYP. Right now with Baron buff, especially on Kralix, means that this side lane is much tougher for Kiwi123. Remember, Baron up minions, a bit more resistant magic damage, and that's how the Vladimir is going to be clearing waves. So in the long run, side lane pressure and priority goes the way of Kralix. Didn't even have to expend the teleport in that play right there.
Scarlet Petal picking up that rapid fire cannon. He's gonna go for those long range crits. Gonna make half of Nitrogen's health bar just disappear instantly.
And this also helps with sieging as they build up that Baron buff. Now they just need to push in the wave slowly. And the rapid fire cannon provides a bit more sieging potential just because of the range that it gave from.
That's right. Scarlet Petal and Raven gonna get to work on the tower, and it's gonna fall instantly.
They have bought tier 2 and now they're rotating as 4. You can see the 1-4 split push super effective, right? Kralix is holding the Baron buff. The moment he walks up, they're empowered, they walk up. And the rest of his team can exert pressure across the map.
NYP is playing it quite slow, and I do like this from them because they can afford to do this for now. They still have a commanding lead over their opponent, 8k in back, and it's just oh boy.
That's
It
a
feels
lot
like
of damage
this.
coming from Shinsekai. I think TP here is a do-or-die situation. They're sending the dummy in. It's a fake made by epistemology.
See the damage coming out from Shinsekai. Whoa there, Nitrogen. Just dashing over the wall. Scarlet Petal actually getting rooted out. Kreis manages to stun up Kiwi123. They're gonna back up. Oh my goodness, that was massive from the Vladimir. Scarlet Petal's gonna stay alive, however, Kreis might pay the price. And he will go down to Kiwi123. Here comes Kralix, misses out
Oh, this is
on
a
those
terrible
3
play.
barrels, and now he's stuck in enemy territory. How is he gonna find his way out of this one?
You see the pings coming up from
see you, buddy.
Apple.
Yep, he's gonna be going down Kiwi123, picking up yet another kill.
Kralix should have just sacrificed that fight and pushed the top side with his Baron buff. And now you remove the buff on the solo split pusher, it becomes a bit more tricky.
Scarlet
Scarlet
Petal
Petal.
getting tagged up, 9 nitrogen. He's gonna go in and he's gonna pick up that kill that's pretty huge.
And this is hubris right now from NYP. They're overconfident, taking these fights that they shouldn't be taking. Remember I said that all they needed to do was wait for Kralix to push the top wave in. Shinsekai now getting spotted out by the jungle.
Exactly, I think it's a caster curse because Terrence just said, I like how NYP is playing slow, and then immediately all this happens.
Nope. It's so unfortunate because the initial fight was, I would have to give credit to TP because Vladimir flank, that was Kiwi123 making the plays. But afterwards, Gangplank coming in late, he has no reason to be there. And then Draven trying to get the turret.
Rex forced to flash away. Final chapter used as well.
That was a teleport flank being used by Kralix to get in the back line. They're trying to capitalize on the jungle, but they did not do so. Meanwhile, epistemology. I've seen this
on their
before!
jungler. No! Oh my goodness, Shinsekai forced to use a flash TP, nearly capitalizing on him.
NYP is playing a little too far right now. That Gragas is not a tank, so you have to be very careful of this kind of crazy plays that might actually backfire very badly. And we're giving a lead back to TP. They are giving a bit more space to play with the game. And Draven is soon going to hit 6 items, and he can't go any further once he reaches that point.
That's true, and we've seen this before. TP has been given back leads by SP yesterday, and they took the series because of that.
Overall, though, NYP is still leading in terms of gold 8k, like you all said, and a lot of it is on the Draven, right? The power point for this composition is the Draven, and they have to be careful. They have to notice when he's under attack, because so far it's been Shinsekai pulling the trigger and just diving without regard of his AD carry.
No,
there it
correct.
goes.
Clearing out waves, and he is going to get cleared out by
Baron.
Scarlet Petal.
This is going to open up Baron control for them. There's a numbers advantage where they can play their 4-1 split push.
The enemy is backing out
Objective.
that bot lane. And if he gets caught out, I don't think he would, but imagine if he got caught out there, that would be even worse.
Oh.
So luckily, at least the Baron wasn't up, but right now this is a window for them to just shove in and take the inhibitor turret in the mid lane.
Right here, the turret is going to fall. Christ, Hex splashes over the wall. Not going to be able to find anything, but they do find an inhibitor. Oh, no, he was
here we
rooted
go.
in place. And look at Kiwi123. Look at what he's going to be able to do. Is he going to be able to find Scarlet Petal? Scarlet Petal goes down. That's a lot of gold, and now Christ is going to fall as well.
Oh man, the Vladimir flag once more coming into full effect, backed up by the pop lesson from Nico. And like we were saying, this is a win condition for TP. If they can find these massive wombo combos on the priority targets, actually TP aren't too out of this just yet.
I have to give credit to that Nico though, because he has been finding those snares from downtown. Nobody has expected it. At this point, if you are Scarlet Petal, you might just want to buy QSS just in case you just get caught again by that insanely fast Nico snare. Because
He did get the stopwatch though,
Yeah.
so that buys him some space if he gets picked up. That being said, Shinsekai going to move over to the Dragon.
He's going to get spotted out by Krex as well. I think he might just want to back out this one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pulling the Mountain Dragon out of the pit means that Temasek Polytechnic
Yep,
will secure this.
Shinsekai is going to go and try
bad
to
idea,
steal it.
Jeans.
Ooh, is he going to be able to get the smite down? Kralix and Christ have shown up, and that means that he's going to be able to wrestle back control of that dragon. NYP picking up one more.
You see, in that instance, I think there was a window for them to make a counter play. Kiwi123 had the teleport, they could have gone for the TP flank into a massive fight. Instead playing it safe and just walking away, but mid lane is still being shoved in.
Yep, Baron
Baron
now
buff.
the focus once again. NYP going to start that one up. Kiwi123, remember so much damage from the Vladimir, but now Baron's going down a lot faster. His jungler there, no cracks, is not there. Shinsekai, beautiful smite. And they're going to secure the Baron, and now NYP are going to look to finish the game.
So if you're disciplined now as excuse me, if you're disciplined as a team now, as you've been practicing together on RSG, NYP, the whole roster resets, plays the 1-4. You don't take any more risks because you're on the verge of honestly losing 2 big team fights before you lose the game.
I completely agree with you, because all of these aggressive plays only have backfired.
Yeah.
The control plays is what's bringing NYP their lead.
Like every time Shinsekai says, let's go guys, they just lose the fight, right? So you have to be a bit more measured if you're NYP right now. Play the 1-4. Executioner's calling done on Kralix means that he deals with Kiwi123 pretty well, right? But no, it looks like they're still setting up the play on the top side.
That's right, trying to find the critical Vladimir flank. Does get spotted out by Shinsekai though, who does so much damage, charging that Predator boots up, but I don't think he wants to go on to Kiwi123, honestly.
So many pings down here, but the Draven isn't here for
What's
this
going
fight.
on? Yeah. Oh my goodness! You say he's not here for this fight, but they just picked out Krex. Uses the Whirling Death to pick up the first kill. Flashing into Kiwi123, his first
That's
use the
important.
Zonius, and he flashes into the mill, but he's gonna get pop blossomed up, stunned out. Is he gonna fall, or is he gonna be able to live himself up? Double kill now onto Scarlet Petal. Yuumi running, Kiwi123 flashing back in, but a beautiful stopwatch. Raven meanwhile picking up one more kill. Scarlet Petal picking up the triple kill. Scarlet Petal gonna pick up the quadra kill, and NYP, I think they're gonna end this.
They're teleporting in, they're looking to close out the game. NYP now on the Nexus turrets and possibly the Nexus soon after. This interesting Draven Leona bot lane is paying dividends for them, and NYP banging on the Nexus TP. Good fight, but sit down boys, NYP are the champions.
That's right.
NYP, Scarlet Battle and the Draven carrying in the last game, that was so huge. There were a few small mistakes across the board, but that was the pick that secured them the win.
You guys gotta
right.
see this on screen right now. You
Yeah.
guys see
NYP pride.
Oh man.
There we go. Like I said, Scarlet Petal I think is the key, and there we go. We just proved in that last game on that Draven. Such a powerful showing, doing so much work on that Draven in the last fight especially.
I think Yon did his best to carry this game. Honestly, he had so many good
Yeah.
flanks, right? But at the end of it, it was the Draven that found these massive fights. He almost one-shot Krex in that last fight. And from then on, without the jungler numbers advantage, man, I mean, what can you do?
The interesting thing is both junglers keep going for this very high damage plays, high damage build, and this increases the risk reward potential, but the risk is what can
Yeah.
decide the end of the game.
With that, guys, we're going to have to congratulate our boys from NYP. I think you're
right.
going to be very happy with
Yep.
that, Gerard.
Indeed.
SP boy, it's okay, we're done already. Yesterday we lost. And from Temasek Polytechnic, I think Chu Fan is a bit upset as well. So
I think they put up a good fight, definitely.
Right, good fight for sure. I didn't expect it to go all three. I think kind of came in expecting a 2-0, but overall, pretty good set of games. For all of you watching on Twitch here at the venue, I'd like to thank you for staying through the day and catching your friends, supporting the matches on stage. From everyone here at the casting desk, the production desk, as well as everyone here at the venue, I'd like to thank you. And with that, we'll be signing off. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.